Okay guys, welcome to another instalment of the Full Circle stroke Haunting a Julia marketing materials series. I'm moving on now to a combination of magazine and newspaper articles around the film. Basically, I have trawled all manner of internet archives, physical archives, newspaper archives from around the world, trying to find as many things I can possibly find regarding Full Circle, and I seem to have come up with quite a few, which hopefully you shall enjoy as I go through them here. So starting off here, a little bit of trivia for you. You may not know this, but the first country in the world that actually screened Full Circle as a proper release rather than a festival appearance, hands up. Well, if you said the Netherlands or Australia, you'd actually be correct. The Netherlands and Australia both released Full Circle on the same day, February the 8th stroke 9th, 1978, so a good 3 months before the film was released in the UK and France. I asked Peter Fetterman why that was. He simply said when the film was sold at Cannes in 1977 at the Cannes Film Festival, the Australian and Dutch distribution was basically agreed first before any other deals were struck, so hence the films were released there first. So what I have here is a series of newspaper articles promoting the film in the Netherlands when it was released. So we can see here that it played in the Netherlands for a good while, because as we can see, this article I've got here, Kringloop van de Angst is what Full Circle is translated into, is Dutch. You can see this article is dated the 23rd of June, and the film is still playing at the City 2 cinema, which was in Amsterdam. It opened in Amsterdam, Rotterdam and Den Haag. And yes, the good thing is, well, I'm hoping it's the good thing. The good thing is that I have a friend who speaks fluent Dutch, and so she will be translating this article for me in the near future, because I actually have two others. There's another one here, as you can see, another Dutch review, and then finally yet another Dutch review. This was from the day of release, actually, so you can see the cinemas listed here where it was actually sort of playing. I actually have a copy of the Dutch poster for the film, which I'll show later in a later video. Basically, that is the alternate Canadian poster with a different style of colouring to it. So there's 3 newspaper articles from the Netherlands. We then have here, you probably may have seen this image. I'm very grateful to Guillaume Paul for sending me this lobby card. I think he picked it up somewhere in France. A number of these sort of images from this moment in the film appear. There is an image like this in one of the lobby sets, but Mia has actually got her hand on the heater at the time, so it's a slightly different photograph, different version. But this is obviously when she's wondering why the heaters are turning on their own, and then hears a noise in the house which sets her off sort of walking around the house. Couple of other archive reviews here. The New York Times. This is a review from 1981 when it was released as The Haunting of Julia. They didn't like it. Okay. Now back to London. So the film, as I say, was released in London. It was released in France on the 3rd of May 1978. Was released then, got quite a wide release in France. Well, wider than it did in the UK, put it that way, because in the UK it was released the following day, May the 4th, 1978, at one cinema, the Plaza Cinema in the West End, which we can see the actual advert for it there, for its screening. It was in Plaza 1, which was the main screen of that complex. It was stayed there for 3 weeks before then moving on to Plaza 3, one of the smaller screens, and it played there for a couple of months. Didn't do particularly well. By that stage, it had then opened in a couple of other cinemas in London. There was one in Bayswater Road, one in the Classic Cinema in Hampstead, sort of open. It played there as well. But it got a real minor release. Outside of London, it played virtually nowhere in terms of the UK. This is from Screen International, by the way, from 1978. And also you can see at that time they do a little promotional blurb for the film. They actually sort of liked it. Okay, I think they sort of criticised Kia delay, as every review seems to criticise. The final piece I've got to show you today is from quite a bizarre magazine, really, Continental Film Review. I say bizarre, it's a magazine that the majority, I found this in the BFI archive, the majority of the pages of the magazine seem to be devoted to what I can only really describe as sort of soft porn film shoots. But for some reason, and thankfully they did, they actually did a 2-page spread that you can see here on shooting full circle. So the great thing about this is that there are a handful of photos here that I have never seen anywhere else, okay, because this was obviously a piece in May 77, so the film was just about to be shown at Cannes when this was released. This was a year away from it being released in France and the UK, so this was very much an article on the filming of it, so it talks about the locations that they used, etc, etc. But some of these photos are just simply magnificent. I mean, we've got the photograph here. This is obviously Mia coming down the stairs of her house in the film, in preparation for the film's closing scene. This photo I have actually seen elsewhere. That's Richard Longcrane there, Tom Conti, Mia Farrow. This is the scene where Tom Conti is holding the mirror at the top of the stairs, and Mia comes up the stairs, sees her own reflection, has a jolt, then realises that it's actually Tom just holding a mirror. So that photograph I've actually seen, because that photograph appeared in a Films Illustrated magazine article from later in 1977, which I'll show you at a later date. This photo I certainly haven't seen anywhere else. This is the camera crew. I've been able to work out this is actually Holland Park. These gates appear in Holland Park. It's where they're filming the scene where Mia sees the kids running out of the school, thinks she's seen Katie, it turns out to be Olivia, etc. That's obviously filming that scene, as I would imagine is this scene as well. And then this final photo here is obviously Mia seeing a reflection in the mirror, and that photo has appeared in quite a few magazine articles over the years. So there you go. Hopefully you've picked up, gleaned some of that. I should just say, when I actually interviewed Peter Hannan, he said that one of the only real disappointment he had from the film was the fact that he shot an awful lot of extra footage of staircases, stairwells, cameras panning around staircases, Mia coming down staircases, that ended up not being used in the sort of cut. And he thought some of that stuff was actually his best work. So that footage has obviously disappeared into the mists of time. Okay guys, so I hope you've enjoyed that segment. Hope you're enjoying these. Please, 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 please give these videos a thumbs up or get people to subscribe. I'm not doing it for money. I'm not doing it to get people to like me. I'm just trying to get as much knowledge and information out there for a film that I know a lot of us people absolutely love. So leave me your comments about if there's anything you want to know about the film or want to see that I can dig up. Probably may have anyway. And yeah, hopefully see you checking out the next video. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.